Well, hope let's hope the Packers just do better. Let's just hope the Packers do better right now, folks. I just hope the Packers can do it and actually win some playoffs. Like, can they do it? All right, let's get started with the show. Hello, folks. Today we'll be doing a Q and A of me. So how it's going to, I'll break it down right here. It's going to go like you guys can ask me some questions and I'll be answering some of your questions. So basically comments, leave your questions in there and I'll already be discussing of some stuff like how I became a YouTuber, D3 athlete, and thoughts on my favorite teams right now. If you've known the channel for this long, thoughts on the Packers, Phillies, Sixers, and Flyers. So we'll start off with that of the thoughts on the Packers, Sixers, Flyers, all the rest of the game. We'll start on that. So we'll go with the Flyers. Flyers, they're not good. They have done, let's say, they haven't been good since the 2020 season when they did the round robin. Then they lost in that, they won the round robin, then lost like in the second round of the playoffs. Flyers haven't been great. They're kind of going through a rebuild. Like to see him get better. Like Carhartt, he's not the same guy he was at goalie, but now you hope the Flyers can fix it and turn around because Claude Giroux, who just had his 1,000th game the other day, that was fantastic to see. And now he'll probably be leaving. So just a matter of time to see what the Flyers like. I've always been a Flyers fan ever since the 2010 Stanley Cups. I grew up as a Flyers fan because I'm from Pennsylvania. And I've always loved watching the Flyers because it's basically every time I watch the Flyers, it's every odd year. You can really look at this that it's been the Flyers have made the playoffs on every odd year. Like 2019, they made the playoffs. 2021, they would make it. Like the even years, like that's what it was the last decade. And now we have not made the playoffs in quite some time because we haven't been terrible in the past 2 seasons. So hopefully this Flyers can fix it. Hopefully they can get it better. All right, now let's go on to the Phillies, which they are one of my favorite teams. Always, this is part of my passion, just growing up as a sports fan. The Phillies, how I became a fan of them was it was my first sports memory, which was watching the 2008 World Series parade. I remember I was in kindergarten and they had it on the TV when I was in the computer class, I think it was. And I just look at that TV and I just see the championship. I see the championship. And that day made me love sports because I got to watch the Phillies parade back after school. And it was like just fun, like watching that experience, seeing how Philly like evolves, like with win championships, like that was part of it. And I always grew up because I've always loved the Phillies, been a huge fan of them, despite them not making the playoffs past 10 years and struggling in these years. Very great back in the day with the Phillies was with Ryan Howard, Jimmy Rollins, Chase Utley, Roy Halladay, Cole Hamels, Kyle Kendrick, Carlos Ruiz, Jason Worth. Back in those days, which those were the great days for the Phillies, from 2007 to 2011, they won the NL East division every year. Now, with that, it was the best time because I loved watching the Phillies, but it went bad when you look at it from their playoff experience because after they won the World Series, they lost the next year in the World Series, which, granted, they did make the play. They went back to the World Series, so I give them props for that. Then next year, they lose to the Giants, which that was a great series because I remember seeing Chase Utley. He did not start the fight in the Game 5 NLCS, I think it was, against San Francisco because it was Jonathan Sanchez that hit the ball to him, and then that started blowing up. That's when the Phillies lost. And then 2011, that's when they lost to the Cardinals in the first round. And my favorite baseball player growing up in that age was Ryan Howard because I always loved him swinging the bat, hitting home runs every day. That was my favorite player growing up. And will always be my favorite baseball player. He was part of it and made me love the Phillies. And I miss that like team back then because you had so great pitching with Doc pitching perfect games, no hitters. You had Cole Hamels, one of the best pitchers in the league. You just had so many amazing guys. You had a championship contending team, and it was just amazing to see for the Phillies. And I'll always be a Phillies fan. And hopefully, they get more players because they already got Kyle Schwarber. Hopefully, go after another outfielder I would like. So hopefully, that I just want them to make the playoffs because I don't care. As I said before, if they don't make the playoffs. I mean, if they make the playoffs and they lose first round, I am fine with that. All I care is they just make the playoffs. That's all I care about. So that's my side for the Phillies. Then to wrap it up with the Packers, I became a Packers fan. Hold on. Get rid of that for a second. There we go. So I became a Packers fan because my dad, he grew up as a Packers fan, then helped he basically grew me into a Packers fan, especially that Super Bowl run with the Packers winning and all. So it was fun to see the Packers get it. And like that was like my first time because I remember my first football, what was it? My first football moment I remember, which was like second grade, was when I kind of cared about football. And I kind of liked the Eagles at the start because the only reason why I liked the Eagles back then for like a short time period was in second grade because my teacher, my elementary school teacher said if the Eagles win on Sunday, then there would be no homework on Mondays. So I would root for the Eagles when that would happen. That was the only reason why if they said no homework on Mondays, which was fun. But then, like when it came to the playoffs, I remember like watching the Eagles, Packers, and then it just like I just remember Tramon Williams getting that interception, and then I just see the Packers go on that run, which was fantastic. That was fantastic to see there. So that was great. And then I became my dad's a season ticket holder, and I'm a Packers owner now because he gave me that for my Christmas gift, which I love. And every year since the Super Bowl, it's been fantastic watching Aaron Rodgers, who's my favorite quarterback. I've always loved watching him play because he can make those tight windows, make those incredible throws that most QBs can't make in the league. And it's amazing to have a QB literally that's amazing. That was awesome. And seeing the team go to the playoffs every year and then they lose in the championship, like NFC or losing a playoff loss, like those were bad times. I remember like just watching that, but overall, I just was happy as a fan just making the playoffs. I was happy when we would make it because I remember my first experience watching the Packers not make the playoffs, which was when Rodgers got out of the year because of his collarbone. I remember against Anthony Barr against the Vikings, and I just like missed that. And Packers like always made the playoffs, and it was always fun watching them make the playoffs. And they made the playoffs the past 3 years with Matt LaFleur, and then you go see Devontae Adams leave. So I mean, I just want Rodgers. Like, he will always be my favorite QB. I don't care about his off field issues at all, whatever people think. He's always going to be my favorite QB. And it's just amazing to see, watch him play. It's happy to see him come back and he's going to retire as a Packer because he started as a Packer and he's going to end as a Packer. Like, that's fantastic because not many athletes do that. That's the thing. And with Aaron Rodgers, like, it's just amazing to see it now. I know they traded Devontae Adams and I just want my team just to win the Super Bowl. I honestly just want to see us go far in the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers can shut up the media because the media just keeps criticizing, especially Skip Bayless, of his playoff career ever since the Super Bowl. So that I just really want the Packers to win a Super Bowl before Aaron Rodgers retires because he definitely deserves another one. Definitely deserves that. But no matter what with the Packers, if they're doing terrible or like this is with the Packers, Phillies, Sixers, and Flyers. No matter what, if they do terrible or if they do good, I will always be with them. I will always be right as a fan and die as a fan. I will always be a Packers fan, Phillies, Sixers, and Flyers, no matter what. I will always be with them and never stop doing that. I will always be that until I die. That's something I'm not a bandwagon and nor will become a bandwagon. I've always had passion for sports, and these were some of the sports because really it's my family that got me into sports, and I always loved it ever since. Like it's been my hobby of like watching every sport game, anything happen with the sports news. Always look up to see what sports news is going to be happening like soon. So that was always like my thing, and I still have that passion. If you know me, you would always see me in school. Like whenever my team won, I would always wear the jersey the next day, Or when it was in high school, if you were with me, I would like on Carrier Day, I would always wear like a Packers outfit with cheese head. I would always wear for folks. Have the jersey, have PJs, everything Packers. Because I was like I'm a diehard fan of all those teams, and I even got the Phillies 2008 World Series T-shirt. So I'm always be a fan of them. I'll always be a fan, and I love like even though like the Flyers aren't that good, Sixers are struggling recently, but they'll make the playoffs. Phillies just make the playoffs, please. Packers get over the hump of NFC. That's what I like to see, but I'm always gonna be a fan of them, no matter what. No matter what. All right, let's see what. Oh, we got a lot of the chat here. Okay, let's answer some questions from the chat. All right, we'll go with Jack's question first. All right, do the Sixers have a chance at the chip? All right. Well, with the Sixers, I will go. They do have a chance to win if Harden can step it up a lot, because Harden has struggled recently. And what I've said on this channel before is if Harden and Embiid have that relationship, Harden has to be the part. He's got to fill those shoes, and he has to be there, because the only way the Sixers are winning it is if he makes it. That's the only way they can do it. And right now, I went to the Sixers game on Monday. Yeah, Monday against the Nuggets, and the Sixers could not do anything. So really, it's just the Sixers have got to have the mentality, got to get over the hump, because look, every time the past few years when we make the playoffs, they have not done well, always lost in the second round, and it's been nothing. It's been disappointing. You can go look at first year, I was very happy we made the playoffs, so I didn't care what happened. Second year, I got very annoyed with the Kawhi Leonard shot, because that bounce was a very lucky shot. Should have never happened. So right now, where we're going with this, the Sixers do have a chance if they start getting better. If that relationship kicks it up a notch, have the team play defense, make those critical free throws right at the end of the game, and they can do it. And Doc has to create some plays, because you can go look at the Nuggets game when I was at. You go look at that, and there was really no play set up, honestly, because they were going for two. I'm like, why would you go for two when you're down by 3 with like 30 seconds left in the game? You have to go for it. So I don't think the Sixers are going to win the championship this year. I don't think they do, but definitely have a chance if they get over the hump and get together, because they need to get rid of this. They need to get rid of that hump of literally losing the playoffs and just getting rid of it. They honestly need to. And the Sixers are playing right now, and they're winning by 2 points against the Dallas Mavericks, who are a good team. And the Sixers just need to like keep this. If they can get it going, then they keep it growing and going. But that is my answer for the Sixers. They do have a chance, but I don't think they're going to win the championship this year. Hopefully, they make it to Eastern Conference Finals. Anything but the second round is all I care. Anything. All right. Next question. Ooh, a Phillies question. All right. DS, thank you. All right. What are the main holes should the Phillies be trying to address after getting Schwarber? Ooh, good question. Okay. So with the Phillies, I know they're trying to go after Nick Castellanos. I can't say his last name. People, I know Zach's watching this probably right now. So, Zach, you can correct me on that. But with Nick, we'll go with that. He is a very good slugger, is what I've been told. The Phillies are very interested in him. And it was David Dombrowski's pick that they wanted him. So they're trying to still go aggressive. But the main holes, I would say, is still bullpen. I think they need to add, I think they need to add another starting pitcher. Definitely more bullpen depth they need. Get another bench player, because they really have nobody on the bench. Like, they really have nobody, because they left Brad Miller, the bamboo guy, who was very good for the Phillies, and he left. They have Schwarber out there, who is going to be left field. But if they sign Nick, it helps create the Phillies more ideas. But I think they need to get another superstar. Right now, the way I look at it, if they don't do anything else, they have a chance. I really hope they do, but I don't think they have it, because they need to add another piece. They need like another piece at least. Because if you have Nick in there, you're gonna have a great outfield, despite Odubel Herrera, who was good in his return with the Phillies. He was good in his return, I'll say. You have Bryce Harper, the MVP, MV3 in right field. So you have that. Then you look at the infield. You have Didi Gregorius, who has struggled. He was great in his first year. Second year, he struggled. And then you have Bryson Stott, who's the minor league prospect, who's supposed to be rising up and be taking over that job soon. So that's been a critical battle. I think shortstop, but the Phillies don't have to go after that. But it's going to be to turn on first couple weeks to see who's going to win that job. That's going to be crucial. Hoskins, he's solid, but he still needs to do better with his first base skills. Alec Boehm, now he struggled. He definitely struggled, and fans we all know he struggles. To me, I think he bounces back. I think he's going to bounce back after having that struggling year, and we saw a little bit of what he can do, especially when he came up from the minors. So third base, I will definitely say. Outfield, it depends on how the DH role is, because the DH role to me, which is something I've wanted the Phillies to do, helps bring up like more stuff. It helps bring the Phillies more stuff, and it helped them get to there. So because you can put JT if he's going to have some off days, and then you put Matt Verling at the catcher spot. Then you could put Rhys Hoskins at DH and then put Bowman there. So I definitely think they need another guy. But if they get Nick Castellanos, then you would have to put Schwarber at the DH. You have to put another guy, but with the DH, I think it helps the Phillies very much because they can move guys around. So I think it's very crucial for us. Then looking at the starting rotation, you have Zach Wheeler, who was up for Cy Young Award, who almost got it and deserved it. Then you have Aaron Nola, who should be bouncing back. He's very good on opening day, so I expect him to start opening day. Then you have Kyle Gibson. He was good. He was doing good when he came through the Phillies. He was playing solid. Last time I went to a Phillies game, I remember he was pitching and then he hit a home run, which was amazing because I never see any pitcher hit a home run. So, and then you have Hans Kroos, Ranger Suarez, and then you have Zach Eflin. So, and there's some guys that are not going to be ready, like Ranger Suarez. I think Zach Eflin's not going to be ready. So I definitely think they need another starting pitcher. I think they definitely need it. Bullpen is really the main issue, and I think this has been the main issue for the Phillies the past few years, is the bullpen. They need really to fix that bullpen because it has cost the Phillies so many playoff games. It has cost them so many. So if the Phillies fix that bullpen once and for all, because they got some guys, but is it enough? That's going to be the question. Will the Phillies bullpen be finally fixed? But the main whole I will really say is the bullpen. They need another hitter. Then get another starting pitcher. You definitely have some money left. And the question is, will Dombrowski go over the tax line for free agency? Will that occur? And I hope they get Nick. I really hope they do. But because if they get Nick, then you look at that lineup from top to bottom, fantastic lineup. The defense is going to be a main concern because they were not a very good defense. So they need another hitter, need another starting pitcher. Main priority is to attack the bullpen, is what I will say. But that is my take on the Phillies part. Next one we have is Jay Kreider. Hey, Jay. All right. He makes the receivers, Aaron Rodgers does. Anyone remember Jordy Nelson? Cobb, before he came back. We'll see if Adams is even top 10 next year. Okay. So there's a bit of truth there. So when Devontae Adams, when he got drafted, he wasn't the brightest guy that came out. When you look at the first 3 years, he wasn't the guy. He looked like a guy who's going to get cut. But the first year, I believe it was when they developed the chemistry. Because not Randall Cobb. You look at Devontae Adams and Rodgers, they developed that chemistry, and Rodgers really helped them develop really as a receiver because he helped them get into those type spots, helped them grow. So to me, Rodgers he's a big part of helping that. And Rodgers, he is done helpful with Cobb and Jordy Nelson. Like Cobb and Rodgers, they go together like peanut butter and jelly. They really do. And so does Jordy, so does Adams. Cobb, he was always fantastic with us with the slot. Jordy Nelson, he's my favorite, because of how much he did with the Packers and how much he got with them. So with Jordy, he always be reliable for us. So was Devontae, so was Cobb. Cobb, my favorite moment with Cobb was the 4th and 8 that against Chicago Bears in 2013 NFC North Division game for Week 17. I remember was my favorite moment, annoying the Bears and just destroying them too. That was fun because we own the Bears. We all know that. Packer fans know that. Bear fans know that. Everybody knows that. Jordy Nelson, on the other hand, he was always one of the best receivers and never so underrated. Never got the appreciation because he never cared. He was always a great teammate, always helped guys out. And Adams, yeah, we'll have to definitely see where he makes even the top 10 next year. I think he will because he's still a talented guy, but He's definitely going to lose some with that chemistry with Derek Carr because even though they're college buddies, it's going to take some time to reinvent that wheel. But I definitely think Devontae is going to make top 10, but he's going to be lower because of Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers when you have Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback, it takes time to develop with your receivers because you can look at every time they've developed Aaron Rodgers, like Alan Lazard, Juwan Winfrey. They've done it so many times, and it has helped the Packers get them like better with receivers. Now, the Packers did trade Devontae Adams, which I will miss him, and I thank him for his time with Green Bay. But they at least we got something. At least we got a draft picks of a first round and a second round. I will say it's definitely we got more than DeAndre Hopkins deal when he got traded from Houston to the Arizona Cardinals a couple years back. So there's that, but I definitely think I think it's beneficial. Packers, you have to get a receiver. They have to get a receiver because if you don't, I don't know what we're doing. I think they have to get a receiver before free agency, like Jarvis Landry, who's been on my radar of who I wanted. Then you go into the draft and you're going to draft a wide receiver, and they're probably going to trade up for one because that's all they do. And yeah, I think that's all they do. Like there's guys out there. Juju Smith-Schuster got signed today. Allen Robinson got signed yesterday. Julio Jones is out there, but I don't want Julio Jones really because of his hamstring issue, and he's declined a bit. Like he'd be a great piece, and he would do very well with the Packers. But my issue, like I'd be fine if we sign him, but my main concern with him is his injury health. His health is my main concern with him because he's not been the same guy he was. So I'd rather roll the dice with Jarvis Landry because he can make those routes. He can do stuff like Adams does, and he was very good with the Cleveland Browns. Julio Jones, on the other hand, you look at his production, despite him getting hurt with Tennessee, like he didn't do that much, and I just don't like. I don't want Julio. I prefer Jarvis Landry, but to answer the question once again, Adams he will definitely make the top 10, but lower the end. And Jordy Nelson and Randall Cobb were Aaron Rodgers' best receivers, and Jordy Nelson was underrated. And when you get that veteran receiver in free agency, hopefully the Packers do, it will benefit us because you can go look at Cobb. He's helping Amari Rodgers out right now. He's helping benefit them. So Packers, they have to address this of getting a veteran receiver because you took the best receiver in the league, the veteran, and he's gone. Now you have the veteran of Randall Cobb. They have to get another veteran. That is the main issue for the Packers before the draft. And they're on the market apparently right now. So we could see a trade this upcoming week or get someone on the market. Like I want Jarvis Landry. That's who I want personally. I really want him. But yeah, that's to answer your question. All right. Next question in the chat. Top 3 receivers. Okay. Top 3 receivers Packers go after. Okay. So I already mentioned Jarvis Landry. He's my number 1. Then you have Julio Jones, definitely. Then who's the other? You could definitely MVS. I think MVS because he's probably going to – I think we should get him back because you look at that 49ers game, like when me and Mike were talking about last night, of when the Packers were without him. They didn't have that much deep threat, and Devontae was getting double coverage. There wasn't many guys open, and that really hurt the Packers, and I think the Packers should bring MVS back. Definitely think so because this would help us with the deep threat and helping us open up more guys open for the Packers. So it helps Aaron Rodgers spread the ball around. So I think it's very good for us. But yeah, I think definitely Julio, Jarvis, definitely with those guys. And then our mention, I would say, is Will Fuller. The Packers were trying to go after him a couple years ago in the trade deadline, and I think he'd do very crucial for us. So I think he could be very good for us. I really think he could, despite of how much he's had his injury and how much he's done. So I think the Packers they could do that. But my main concern is with Packers once again, as I mentioned with Jay's question, now with Zach's question, which this person's a Browns fan. If you guys don't know, he is a very diehard Browns fan. So root for the Browns because they got Deshaun Watson today. So, but yeah, definitely you need, as once again, they need a veteran receiver. They need to get that right then and there and just trade. They need to get something right now because they don't get a veteran receiver, then who's going to really help them out when they draft the guys, and then you got to take the process of literally learning from the QB plays and all of that. Like, we don't have time for that because we're on a tight schedule right now with Aaron Rodgers as QB, and we have to get it going. We have to get it going right now. But yeah, that is to answer that question. All right, next question was Jay. Any chance we get Julio Jones? I already mentioned yes. The possibility with him getting there. So we could see that happening. Once again, just only his. He's very like it could happen, but I don't know if Packers have enough. If they were willing to do it, that's going to be the concern of Brian Gutekunst. All right, so let's go to my take here. I'll go with is how I became a YouTuber. So the way I became a YouTuber, which was my first video came out close to a year ago, close to this time. It was doing a Phillies starting lineup prediction. And the reason I did YouTube, because I like to talk sports. I love talking about it. First time I really just kind of really want to talk sports through a camera was my TV production class in high school. I got to do kind of be the news anchor or be the sports guy. I got to be the sports guy in that, and it was fantastic, doing some TV production, all that, and it was just fantastic to do from it. So that was one of the reasons, and I give a shout out to my high school TV production teacher, Mr. Moore, Tomo, as I like to call him. That's his nickname. And he's always helped me just developed with the camera work and how to shoot, how to film and all that. That's something I kind of grew a passion for. And then I watched YouTubers and I look at first time I watched on YouTube someone's reaction video of the Packers drafting, I think it was Jair Alexander. Yeah. Jair Alexander drafting, and it was apparently Tom Grossi at the time, which you guys don't know that he's a big YouTuber on Packcast that's covers the Packers all the time on YouTube. And I watched his reaction, and then I see how many views that goes. And I'm like, this is simple. I could do that easily. And then I go watch Cheese at TV. That's another Packers YouTuber. Shout out to Aaron Ackler and Corey Banky. Shout out to them. And I watch them and I see their take, and I'm like, this is very easy. I could do this. This is very simple. Just talking through a camera is like having a conversation with somebody, except I'm talking to you guys virtually. Not in person. But it's it's not that hard. And I'm like, okay, I could do this. I could set a camera up, just talk to the camera about how I feel about sports and have my opinion on the Phillies, Flyers, Sixers, all my sports takes too. So I've watched that, and then I kept really my mentor really was Tom Grossi, because he does similar videos I do, and I just do that. I'm like, okay, I can do this. Let's go. We can roll with this. And then it comes down to my first video, the Phillies starting lineup, prediction video. You guys can go check that out. It was my first video from last year. And I just first time I do, I'm looking, I am nervous. It took me I just stare at the camera for 10 minutes straight because I'm I can't do this. I honestly can't do it. I'm shy. I'm scared. But then I'm let's just do it. See what happens. Let's see what the heck happens with the camera and see how much I would get on YouTube. See if people's even like that. Because at the time, I didn't know how many people would like this video. I honestly had no idea. So I just write out my script, on my notes here, not on my notebook, but I write on the computer, and I just do it. And I write it out. I'm okay, Phillies starting lineup. Let's go with Andrew McCutchen, number 1. And then I go to next player, and Bryce Harper, then pitcher. And then I get it all out. I'm okay, let's make sure we cover the right stuff, get it all out when I'm producing this. And then make sure to edit videos that if I mess up, or blah, 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 blah. You'll see me do that sometimes, guys at home. Edit it out, to cut it out. So I edit it out, and I get the first video. I'm okay, let's post this. I post it, and then a week later, I look at how many views, and I was shocked to see how many views I got, which was close to 100 views for my first video. My first video, it was 100 views. I was shocked by how that happened. And I'm okay, now I'm getting some confidence. I'm I could do this. Let's keep rolling with this. And I just be myself. I'm not scripted. I'm not acting like who I am. I mean, literally being who I am right now. And I was being here, why don't we just use a baseball as a prop? Say, all right, it's baseball season. Let's get it. I just want to like do something funny to the folks, like to start out the video and then go right into it. Like I always want to start out those videos, and it's always like then it went from there. Then the bullpen prediction of the Phillies and the starting rotation. Then I want to cover like more stuff like the Packers, then the Flyers. I want to cover all my favorite sports teams, even though that's like a hard work, and I like to cover some stuff. And always been there, and I've always liked it. Like first time I really like did streaming like this right now was the NFL draft a couple years ago when I started it in my I think it was 8th grade or freshman year. I did it on Instagram, and I just went like literally live stream, and I just like literally just being the cameras, just saying my reaction of like just streaming the draft literally to myself, and I just kept doing it. And it's been going on since then. Every year, I'll always host the draft on doing it on Instagram usually, but excuse me, but I'll be doing it on YouTube this year. So I'll be doing that, and like it just went from there. I always liked that. Then I like got into more ideas. Like what can I do? Is like instead of predict like more than predictions, I did reaction videos. You guys can go see that. Where I've done with the Packers, I've done with the Flyers was my first one, and then I just started doing interviews with people. I'm like okay, just get one on one how they became a fan, or like interview like what do you like about sports, like something like that. And it just like rolled from there. I'm like okay, keep rolling and rolling. Let's keep rolling. Then come out with like some breaking news to get some more views is what I was trying to do. And it worked out. So I'm like, okay, let's do that. Then it comes to this past December. And I just like, I can make these highlight videos like of how people's doing. Like, I know like how are people like getting away with this stuff? Like, why not? Let's just see what happens. And I know I'm not gonna get copyright or like any of that stuff, but I just do because I remember doing this in high school. Like we would make these kind of like videos of highlights and all, and it just worked out. So it worked out, and it just went from there. So from there, it just went and through. And then we just went, and then, yeah, it went through and then just kept going. So, like, from that, when I made my Packers hype trailer for the playoffs, because I want to get every Packer fans hyped, like, let's go, we win the Super, like, get them all hyped up. Like, I wanted to get that energy, like, from you guys, too. It's like, to see how much I could do of work and then add some background music into it. And then I believe, yeah, I post it. And then after like 1 week, after the next day, I remember I woke up and it's already over like 3,000 views. I'm like, what the heck? Honestly, what the heck? And then new weeks, it comes out, it gets more thousands of views. I'm like, what the heck is going on? And then like now I look at it and like 19,000 views. I'm like, how is that possible for me to get 19,000 views on a YouTube channel, on a YouTube video? How's possible? Like, what the heck like happened? And like, then everyone started liking my videos. So appreciate you guys liking it. But yeah, like I've always had a passion, kind of like doing some like sports broadcasting, like with Harry Cowles, Tom McCarthy, who are like been the Phillies broadcasters. Or yeah, that's who I've like always like. I want to do kind of something in the broadcast. Like I always want to do something like as a hobby, not as a career, but I like it though. It's like something I've always like kind of wanted to do just as for fun and see how it goes. And it's just going fun for me. Like I don't care. Like I'm always going to keep producing content no matter what. Like even if we run out of 0 subscribers or 0 viewers, I'm going to keep producing no matter what because it's not about the views. It's not about like getting us 1,000 bikes, getting 1,000 subscribers, getting the most subscribers in the world. Like appreciate if you guys gave me that, but it's just more about giving you guys like the fun experience. Like I'm not gonna do any advertising. Well, I did do advertising one time, but that was just for fun. That was like with a friend, and it didn't even cost any money. But I just want to give you guys like a great time, give you like the right content, just give you great content. That's why I always like to give my viewers like give them the best content that you can produce on this topic. That's always what I want to do, and I always like give my best out no matter what to you guys. So that's how I became a YouTuber. And I always keep doing it, and I'm doing it right now. Not stopping, never stopping. We keep going, keep pushing it forward, and keep going forward. Let's keep going. All right. So then, do we have any more? Do we have any comments in the chats? No, we don't have any comments. Okay. So, all right. So then we'll get on to my next take. I'm a D3 athlete. Now I go to York College of Pennsylvania, which is in PA, folks. I go there and I am my D3 athlete. I play tennis out here. And it's just like I've always played tennis since high school, freshman years when I first started out. and I just grew into it, and I just wanted to do it in college. And tennis is like very fun and doing it, but like with the balancing with between like schoolwork and D3, like it can be hard sometimes when you have practice and then you have an upcoming exam or test. Like it's gonna be a struggle. Like for me, like last this past fall was my first semester. Like it was a little struggle for me for the first week because I was trying to get used to college, get used to like the practices, how it's gonna go. And I found that balance. After the first couple weeks, I finally found that balance. And it's like pretty fun because like I get to watch like coach like get to watch my coach do practice of how we supposed to attack like this way in the net of tennis or like do this way of winning and strategies and help get me better and watch my teammates get better. And then my teammates like we're a team. We none of us hate each other. Like, it's like a great bonding basically. And it's fantastic to see. And hopefully we win our division, which we'll have to see if that happens. But it's just fun playing tennis. Like tennis was always fun and just playing D3, like I didn't care about getting D1, like the scholarship, all the money, sponsorships get drafted, like none of that mattered to me. None of that mattered to me. D3 was like just still having fun and you keep going with it. This is what's happened. Like I wanted like this is for fun, but I also want to win because I want to help us like win, get more wins. But I will do like this has been fun and it's still going to be fun. Like I'm going to play tennis all my 4 years, and I might show you guys some highlight videos of me if I play. But like D3, like it could be a challenge sometimes with once again with the practice, test, and all. But you eventually find that balance. You find that time management skills. Like okay, I practice. How can I schedule my classes? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? When am I going to eat? All this. And sometimes people don't like have a plan, which is not good. They don't have a plan, like they'll see how the day goes, which that's not good time management skills to let you know, guys. But with me, it took me time, and I was like, because I had my schedules of like, okay, we got 9 o'clock in the morning, I have this class, then go to 2:30, I have practice. I'm like, okay, if I can go after practice, and then I have like radio show, like how I do on Tuesdays, I got that down. So with D3, it's a fun experience because the majority of people here are athletes, like about I think like over 70% of people of like from my grade are like athletes, which is pretty fun because we get to talk sports all the time. Like, even though they play my sports, but it's pretty fun playing it too. And tennis is always fun too to play it. Like, even if you're not good, it's still fun to play. Like, don't smash your racket, which that'll tend to happen to people sometimes, but it's just the fun of the game. It's just to love the game. And I've always wanted to be an athlete, and I've always, no matter if like I was good or not, I just wanted to be that athlete and have fun. That's always what I've wanted to do. That's been something that I've liked to do. But yeah, so I'm a D3 athlete. I play tennis here. I'm just having fun. Really just trying to play games, try to win some challenge matches, try to get all that. Always try to get better and produce like better serving, like yeets, or better net approach by not slamming it, which my coach will call me out because I like to slam it a lot. Try to do more of volleys, like like more of that, and have the great backhand stroke, which my teammates are helping me out, and my forehands to get the top spin, which is like a it's like a technique in tennis, like where you get that spin, like a kind of a fastball, like when you're playing baseball. But yeah, and it's always fun. Like D3 is very fun as an athlete, and it's like you get like there's pressure. Like there's definitely pressure when you're playing sports and when you're a D3 athlete. Like, it's nothing compared to D1 and D2. Like D1 and D2, like more pressure, but D3, yes, there's pressure, but you get to kind of relax a little bit. You get a little relaxation in it and helps you calm down the mind, basically. You don't have so much stress that you're gonna like blow your brain out. It's not gonna like that's not gonna happen. Like with D3, like yeah, it could happen, but like you're more like okay, you're like better in this environment than D1 because you can look at the atmosphere because with D3 compared to D1, like D1 games of like any sport usually get sold out, have lots of crowds, whereas D3, not that much. It's usually like a high school game kind of. But D3 is just amazing opportunity. Like I'm happy I'm in college, playing tennis. That's what I want to do. And I'm doing it right now. So I'm happy about that. But yeah, D3, once again, it's fun playing tennis in Division 3. It's pretty fun though. Pretty fun. All right. So now do we have any comments in the chat? No, we don't have any comments in chat. Okay. All right. So let's go to some funny ones because I mentioned on Monday, yeah. Monday I posted the video which was the big announcements. And I asked you guys in the video, can you guys put some comment questions for the stream right here? So I gathered some of that questions there to put some. So now I'm going to read off of how it happened. I mean, of some of those questions. So the first one was, what's the most overrated donut? Most overrated donut? What is the most overrated donut? I feel like it's glazed donuts. I feel like it's glazed because it's good, or chocolate. Like, I like both those donuts, but I think people like overestimate chocolate sometimes and glaze. Like, it's too much sometimes. But I mean, I think it's one of those. I think it's one of those. Those are one of the two. But I will say chocolate, even though I'm a chocolate fan of donuts. Like, that's me. All right. The next question is cereal a soup? Why or why not? Okay. Now, this is like a hot dog. This is like the hot dog question where you're asking, is hot dog a sandwich or not? That's the question. But cereal, it's not a soup. It's not a soup at all. It's not even close. Because with soup, you have meat. You have some meat, like tiny bits of meat in your soup. Or you have noodles. Like cereal is literally crunch. Like, soup is literally, that's the complete difference. Soup is hard a little bit, while cereal's crunch. Cereal is soft. No, what am I saying? Cereal is crunch. Soup is soft. That is why. And cereal is not a soup. Not at all. Not at all. All right. The next question we saw from the video was, where did your love of sports stem from? Okay. So I mentioned this earlier with the Phillies. So with the Phillies, right here, 2008 baby, champs. So with the Phillies, that's how I became of like watching the Phillies win the World Series, and then I wanted to be a baseball player because I remember when the Phillies won that World Series, I'm like, I want to be like them. I just want to be a baseball player, grow up to be that, win the World Series, win all that. And I just like from there, I wanted to play, and I did from first grade of baseball. Yeah, first grade all the way to eighth grade, I played baseball, and it was just a fun experience. I didn't care if I was good or not, which I really wasn't, but I had my good moments. I had my good moments in there, and it was fantastic playing that sports. Then the next year comes, I try out for soccer. I remember didn't make it. I played soccer a little bit when I was a kid. Then I try out for the golf team the sophomore year. It didn't work out. But in freshman year, that spring, I started out playing tennis because I just like, why not? Let's just give this let's try out tennis. And then I grew a passion in that, as I mentioned before. Grew a passion of loving the game, liked it, wanted to play, and I always loved slamming the ball, playing aggressive. Like that's something I love playing at tennis. And it's just really like a sports environment. Like I always loved playing sport. I always loved the sports. Even as a kid, I would always like go out with my neighbors, friends, and just play sports everywhere. Like that's all I ever want to do is like games and games. Like it's just fun. And sports is like a fun. It's just a fun environment. It's like helps kids learn lessons. Like even if you're not like playing traditionally, like it's just fun playing the games. And that's like what I loved about sports. Like it's just fun, and you get to play, and you get yes, there's competitiveness, but like it's just fun. That's what sports what. That's what sports is. It's just fun. Whether you think it's like competitive or not, it's just fun. And I just loved it from the Phillies, then as the Packers, and the Sixers and the Flyers. Like I've always grown into it, and I've loved sports. Then it's always grown, and I like. It's always been fun to just join sports because I love that. Like when the team wins, it's always just fun doing that. It's always just fun, just like being a fan, just playing sports. It's just fantastic learning it. But yeah, it's just fun. It's just a fun experience, like playing the game of sports, just learning it, and you can still play it to this day. You can still play that games from your child till now. It's just still fun. It's just a fun time. All right. Let me see. Do we have any comments in the chat? No, we have no comments in the chat. Okay. All right. We'll get to this final question here before we end. If you guys have any more comments, questions, leave them in the chat. All right. Goals. So what I want to do, so I'll go from my goals of from right now to when I'm done with college. So I want so my main because I made so I'll tell you my major, my minor. So my major is sport management. My minor is communication. So sport management, I'll give you a little background on that, is managing sports teams, being a sports agent. Like, man, it could be managing college facilities or high school, like being a high school director of sports, being the sports high school director. And sports management for me, I thought that was like the best decision for me because I like have a passion for sports, want to work in sports. And then my minor of communications, like this stuff right here of YouTube, talking with you guys, like I like doing broadcasting, kind of doing like some media involving sports. So that's what I like to do is having communications become better at communications, speaking with people, just being a better communication person. And I can use that to help me with YouTube and like be a better speaker with you guys. So helps me out there. And my main goal basically is to work for a sports like franchise team, become the general manager really, or work in the front office of a sports team. Because all I want to do is because my goal basically when I work in the sports industry is to build a dynasty team, win championships, and give the best experience to the fans. Have the fans have fun. That's what I like to have because I want to basically build a contending team for my team. That's what I want and win those championships. Have fun while doing it. And so right now I'm just learning like the major and just learning all about it. I just love to do it and I'm just trying to like it's going to take you a while to step into the door because the sports industry is very hard to get into to work into it. But what I've done and what I've done here basically is like use LinkedIn, which is like a networking app that lets you connect with people from like other sports teams to mine. And I've used that so much. Like I remember, I think it was last year. I think I started it. Didn't really bother using it, and then the next year I started using it, which was like my first or second week of school, and I started using it. And then like because my professors tells me like connect with these people because they're going to help you in the future, and so I did that. And from that first day of that till now, I've connected with over like I think 1,200 people, like over that many, because was like, okay, let's get my foot in the door, make some connections with people. Like, let's build relationships with people, and just like do it. Why not just do it? So, I basically what I would just do is like go to every sports team, and I would just like go through like some interest that jobs that interest me, or like people working in those jobs, like the marketing or the sales or the media aspect or the front office. Like, I want to like learn from like all the different aspects of the sports industry, like where it goes from the front office to the ticketing side and the media side. That's all I wanted to learn. And I'm like, okay, let's just learn from these people, get their advice, and build the relationships with them and continue hopefully with them. And it's been working well because I've connected with so many people, talked with them, had that conversation one on one of like either phone call or like messages or emails, like even just like been a fantastic opportunity too. So it's fun. It's like fun experience doing it. And I went to, as I mentioned before, the Sixers game on Monday, which that wasn't prior to the game happening. There was a networking event hosting, and I went there, and got to meet with like all the Philly sports teams, other sports teams. Like I met with the Philadelphia Union people who worked there, the Philadelphia Eagles, Flyers, and Phillies, and the Sixers also. And I just got to learn like what they want to do, like what jobs are available, like how do I get my foot in the door is what I'm like trying to look at. And I just like trying to build that relationship right now. Because right now I'm a freshman and I'm nowhere close to like working like for a major time job with a sports team. Because that's usually like when you're up to a senior, junior like ish, or after college. But right now, I'm just trying to make those relationships right now, and I'm doing that. I'm like networking with people, trying to get that and just build that one-on-one relationship with people. Because that's what I like to do. I just want to build that relationship, just keep it growing. And that's what I'm doing right now, which I'm happy about. But because eventually it's gonna help me out and I'm appreciating it. So goal right now is to literally just make the relationships as a freshman. That's all you're making because you're just a freshman and I'm doing a great job. That's all I like to do. But yeah, that's a fun experience. Sport management, if you guys are looking to do sports management, if you're in college or if you're a high school student out there, it's a fun experience. Like, definitely, if you want to get involved in the sports industry, like work field, it can be tough to get into it, but it pays off. Like, it's not about the money, it's just about the experience. Like, you can go look at like salespeople or people working for that because you're just working for a sports team. You're working for a professional sports team. And that's just an amazing opportunity to work for that because you can go work for the Phillies and you go to your office and then you just see out your window Citizens Bank Park's field. You see the baseball field. And that's just fantastic to see. And that's part of what I want to do. Work for work for it and have that amazing experience and learn from that and just get through it. Like, I've wanted that. And for you guys out there, like, yes, it can be hard, but it's not about what you know. Like, you guys, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. It's about who you can make those connections with when you're like a junior, senior, like you got to apply for internships and stuff. Like, hey, this person's looking for that. Like, you got to make those connections with people because when you make those connections as a freshman right now, they're going to help you out in the future because you can go like, hey, I'm looking for this internship. Do you guys have anything available? Like, they might help you out and like set you up for an interview or something like that. So if you were doing sport management or any major at all, or pursuing anything like in life at all, make connections with people because those can be your friends in lifetime, like for the rest of your life. They can be a great relationship with them. So make those relationships and connections with people because they can help you out, very much help you out with the sport management. And you're learning how to work as like a sports, excuse me. Excuse me. You could just learn. You can learn as in, like how to work in this field because like at my college, for example, we have a class called sports practicum, which is learning how to set up operations with the sporting games, like with my college game, like with my college sports, like the women's basketball for my college. Like I would be working, like if I was working tonight, I'd be working to set up the basketball game, like having the scoreboard out, make sure the music on, set up the chairs for the basketball benches, and set up the rails and greeting people, like getting the tickets. Like that's something like it's going. Like that's an example of like sports practicum, which if you want to get into that like field, it'd be great to hear. But that's something like I want to like. To me, it doesn't like it's not what I want to do like after college, but it's a great experience. Like it's a great experience to learn from, and like what you want to do as your major, like as you want to do in your field. So it kind of helps you out. It helps you out, but it's going to help you out when you have to go like look at other people and stand out against others. Because the goal is make close relationships, stand out when you're going for like when you're going up for interviews. How do you stand out against the other people? Like you can be one of those 150 people. How do you stand against the rest of them? And you got to make that. You got to make your case into a story because you want to like not talk all about your resume. Like, yes, they're gonna ask about your resume, but you want to talk. Like, make it into a conversation. Make it a fun conversation. Like, talk. Make yourself like you're doing a pitch for yourself. Make it into yourself. Make it into a story is what you want to do. So with this, it helps you out. And sport management, once again, it's a great major to get into if you really like to do sports. It's a really great major if you want to do some management with the high school teams, or if you want to work for minor league baseball, sports. It's just a fun experience to do, and I like to do that. I like to do that after college. And this is like with my minor, this is what I'm kind of doing is like have my own radio show, have some talk shows on the YouTube channel, and make some videos for you guys. And that's just what I like to do. That's one of my favorite things to do. And I just appreciate it. So that's all I got for you guys tonight. If you have any more comments or questions, leave them in the chats. If you guys could please do me a solid favor, leave a like on this button. Like on this video. Golly, I can't speak tonight. Leave a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel. Let's grow this channel. Let's get the subscribers up and we get more views and more. Have fun in the chat. Let's have more of that. That's what I like to do. But this is my first Q&A, guys. I hope you guys liked it. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. Appreciate it if you guys would leave that to see what you loved about it, what you not like about it. I just want to see if you guys want to continue this. If we want to do this like once in a while, we can have a Q&A of like me speaking to you guys and you guys can be chatting. Like That's what I like to hear from you guys. But it's been fun just doing the stream just for even over an hour. Like, it's fun. Just literally taking a break from school, all that. It's just fun talking to you guys. It's really fun. So I appreciate every one of you guys coming out. Hope you all have a great night. And hopefully the Packers do well. Sixers, they won tonight. Let's hope they win the championship. Flyers, please just win. Just win, please. And yeah, and the Phillies, just make the playoffs. Been waiting over 10 years. Just make the playoffs, please. Please make the playoffs, please. The Packers win the Super Bowl. That's all I need. That's all I need. But, folks, that's all I got. Have a great night, everyone. Hope you guys enjoyed it.